Greetings and welcome to the Rock and Roll podcast. Check out this record. My name is Mark, and with us, as always, is a man I've been going punk rock steady with for the better part of the last 20 years. It's Frankie D.
Hey, Mark, 20 awesome years and counting, my man.
Absolutely. If your friends are wondering why you suddenly have such good taste in music, be sure to tell them it's because you've been listening to this podcast. Check out this record can be found on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, Amazon Music, or wherever you find the finest of podcasts. Heck, we're even on YouTube. So spread the word, you dirty bird.
That's right. New episodes drip to the drop directly to your ears every Friday, of course, for your listening pleasure.
That's right. For the uninitiated, here on Check Out This Record, Frank and I find albums for each other and go through them track by track. But that's not all. Oh, no. We also have a wide array of musical discussions, like in our Spotlight series, where we'll dig into a band's catalog and see what comes out the other side.
That's right. Or in our Versus series, where we pit two albums against each other and they duke it out for total stereo domination.
Now, if social media is your thing and the NSA has told us explicitly that it is, be sure to check us out on Instagram. Plus, we've got a Facebook group thingamajig. I don't even like saying Facebook, where we like to drop additional content when we feel like it. So mark yourself safe from shitty music and give us a like and a follow, or however that devil-infested box works.
That's right. And don't forget to pop over to the world famous Tube of the U and watch as we make silly faces as we try to put the show together. Maybe we got some exclusive content coming you definitely don't want to miss. So be sure to fire off a click on that old subscribe button. By the way, we welcome lots of civil discourse. And Mark, we've had lots of it minus the civil on YouTube with our Zeppelin episode.
Yeah, man, you're willing to talk shit about me. You might as well be able to back it up there, pally pal. Anyways, today on the show, Graham, we'll be heading to Jamaica via SoCal as we jump into the Mad Caddies 2018 release, Punk Rock Steady.
Yeah.
Unlike last week, where Led Zeppelin tried to lie to us and claim they wrote most of the album, the Mad Caddies are openly covering and giving credit to some of their favorite punk bands. Now, let's talk a bit about the Mad Caddies, shall we? Frank, you and I have been big fans of ska since we were just, Lil Punks. That's Lil with the apostrophe. What makes the Mad Caddies stick out from their kind of late 90s, early 2000s ska contemporaries?
Yeah. Well, Mark, of course, in our ska episode, I was going to say ska episode, some scars were revealed. Everyone heard me, of course, get choked up when I mentioned the Caddies and my father liking the song Distress from their first record. In the midst of third wave ska, what stood out, at least to me, were the vocals, number one, and just the catchiness variety of the tunes. Chuck's vocals, the singer, to me are just some of the best. I'm sure he's never taken a singing lesson before, but he's got a natural tone. The Caddies also don't just play third wave ska or two-tone ska or Dixieland ska. They do it all. They do all of it, right? Each record gives you a taste of all those blended styles into a unique sound. So that's why, to me, the Caddies albums are just always fantastic to listen to, because you get all of those.
Yeah, and these guys are just an absolute blast live. Frank will tell you, I saw them live somewhere in the 2002, 2003 range. I bought a t-shirt. I wore that t-shirt until it basically fell off of me.
I remember.
Anywho, Punk Rock Steady, it's a ska band, so there are at least 7 dudes in the band, and we have 7 dudes playing on it. So here we are. Graham Palmer on bass and vocals, Todd Rosenberg on drums and percussion, Mark Bush on the trumpet, Sasha Lazaro on guitar and banjo. I apologize if I just screwed up your name, dude. Dustin Lanker on organ. Frank, this dude was also in the Cherry Poppin' Daddies, and he was the touring keyboardist for the Mad Caddies, and joined officially for this album.
Nice.
Eduardo Hernandez on trombone, Chuck Robinson on vocals and guitar.
Yeah.
We do get guest vocals by Amy Allen, aka Amy Interrupter. and Fat Mike of No Effects, who is also the album's producer. Hey, look, even a broken clock's right twice a day, and that's why this album doesn't suck. As we go through the album, we'll discuss each track, but also the original artist and composition, and compare the cover to the OG. Frank, you ready to skank the night away?
I'm ready.
Excellent. All right, track 1, Sorrow. Originally from Bad Religion's 2002 release, The Process of Belief, or as it's known in my house, the last good Bad Religion album. When asked about the meaning of the song, Brett Gurewitz had this to say, quote, "Well, it's the story of Job from the Old Testament. Job was the most righteous man in the world. The devil said to God, these people are basically bad. And God said, well, no. The devil said, give me one example. And God said, look at Job. He's a righteous man. The devil said that he could corrupt him like any man. And they made a wager. And that was God's way of rewarding the one righteous man on the planet. That was God turning his back on the one man who was good and righteous. That's not God, that's religion. That's an example of how detestable religion is. What is the lesson there? No matter how good you are, God will turn his back on you. This is the basis of this is the basis for Judeo-Christian religion? ? Is it any surprise the world is so screwed up? ? I don't know why I keep saying ? They say that the story of Job is the saddest story ever told. So it seemed like the best archetype story to start a song called Sorrow. End quote. Frank, the Mad Caddies used the song's bare intro, but quickly transition to a low-key Rocksteady vibe to tell the saddest story ever told, as it were. What do you think of their interpretation, and which do you prefer, the Bad Religion take or the chilled out but still dramatic Mad Caddies Rocksteady take?
Ooh, I tell you, that question is right out of the gate. I mean, first track, it's really hard to pick from. And Sorrow, to me, is one of Bad Religion's best songs from one of their best albums. And not only is the original interpretation on the record great, but just even the acoustic version is stunning. If you listen to it, it's just so tastefully good. I do love laid back ska Rocksteady version. All right. It gives it quite a groove and actually brings light to the Sorrow. For the sake, though, I will pick the Bad Religion version just due to the heavy content. And I think that music captures it a little better. That doesn't mean that the Caddies version is bad. It's just you did ask me which I like better. So
yeah, sure. Track 2, Sleep Long. Operation Ivy's lament for their fellow man and woman who die homeless in the street. And the toll it takes on society as we watch. Originally released on their self-titled album in 1989. Once again, we get a very similar intro to chill out Rocksteady groove. Amy Interrupter helping out on the chorus here. And of course, we get this big walking bass line and mellow horns. Frank, Operation Ivy, the godfathers of punk rock's third wave. What do you think, the OG or Mad Caddies?
Much as I love the Energy record, believe it or not, this was one of my lesser favorite songs from there. And maybe that's just because the rest of it is so damn good. It was always a song where I'm like, all right, I could deal with skipping this. But the Caddies do good. So this one goes to the Caddies for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Track 3, She, from Green Day's small breakout record, Dookie. One of Billy Joe Armstrong's favorites. He makes sure it's played at every show and has said he'll keep playing it as long as he's playing music. The song itself is a love song he penned for a girlfriend from the University of California. She was, she was an ardent feminist, which enthralled him, saying, quote, she gave me an education that I was... Yep, she gave me an education that I think was very timely for me. I was just a dumb kid, high school dropout. She was telling me about the way women have been objectified for many years, and I just listened. Armstrong explained that the scream at me until my ears bleed lyric is him telling her he's here to listen. With any kind of activism, the first thing you need to do is be a good listener, he said. The song becomes about an understanding. End quote. Frank,
Yeah.
The original is a personal favorite of mine, certainly
Yeah.
from the Dookie record.
Oh yeah.
But I do love this mellow construct. What says you?
Well, I'm gonna go cheap here, and I'm saying both. And
That-
the song works as a punk song, and which Green Day obviously showed us, and a bitchin' ska song, like which the Mad Caddies have done. It's one of those things where I think the sentiment, okay, so Sorrow, for example, was definitely deep, and not saying that this is deep, but Sorrow's like maybe a couple layers deeper. This one transposes great as Green Day's version and the ska version, I think, because of then the content, right? I'm sure you could do even a song like this in many different versions, though, to be honest with you, probably on an acoustic guitar, that's still going to be killer. So
Absolutely. Well, we're moving right along. Track 4, and we thought that nation states were a bad idea. So here we get the Propagandy's opus to Class War from their 1996 release, Less Talk, More Rock, an underrated album from them. I know that people typically put it towards the bottom of their list, but I think it's a phenomenal album. Anyways, it's kind of weird to hear it as though you're sitting on a beach with a frozen drink, but the Mad Caddies do it justice. My only gripe is letting Fat Mike tag on that little parody of Ska Sucks to close out the song. Not sure what it adds other than like, hey, I'm making fun of Propagandy. Frank, you and I talk a bit about how crummy working with these big soulless corporations can be, and it's amazing that 26 years on, this song still feels painfully relevant. Talk me out of burning down the establishment, please.
Well, Mark, as I told you this past week, in our private conversations, the biggest cowardly and sneaky snake is the modern day company. But that was probably true in 96 also. See, folks, I'm here to tell you to abandon that ideology because it doesn't matter to corporations. We're all treated the same.
Yep.
Now on to the music. I agree that Fat Mike is not needed here, and it's weird a little bit to have the summertime version of a song like this. Kind of indifferent on this one, as far as it's the Caddies interpretation. Just knowing what the content of it is musically, though, and the vibe, I could get around and I could still do this. So
there you go. Yeah, get a little dancing in there. I'm with you though. I'm taking the original, the Propagandy version on that one.
Oh, gee.
Track 5, She's Gone. Speaking of old fatty, here we get NoFX's White Trash, Two Hebes and a Bean, a tragic tale of the aftermath left behind when heroin addiction finally consumes its user. Frank, while I appreciate how NoFX plays this, I have to tell you, not having Eric Melvin screaming the occasional line makes a ton better immediately. Amy Interrupter, on the other hand, does a great deal to add depth to the Mad Caddies cover. Tell me I'm wrong.
Actually, one of my favorite NoFX tunes, and I'm really digging the vibe that the Caddies bring here with Amy lending a hand. Due to Fat Mike just being stale to me as of late and potentially messing up your Fat Wreck orders, I'm going with the Caddies on this one.
They keep shorting me albums and then releasing stuff on colored vinyl after. Anyways, track 6, AM. This heartbreaker is from Tony Sly's 12-song program. Frank, you've got a better understanding of Tony Sly and his work. Would you tell our fine listeners about this number?
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to his I became just obviously not like communicative, but his wife on Instagram, and I'll post things and say Tony's missed and she'll like them. And I know it was her daughter's birthday, who's now 18. So happy birthday to Tony Sly's daughter. Not being over dramatic here, but Tony Sly's death messes with my head. This song is such a tale of heartbreak, and I'm glad the Caddies paid tribute to someone who had a lot more music in them. The I'm Not Scared if You're the Night is just gut wrenching, and the Caddies do it very, very justice. Very, very, they do it. It's justice. I suggest blah, 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 blah. I suggest both should be listened to.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Track 7, Alien 8. Fitting placement for a Lagwagon track here is Tony Sly and Joey Cape were good friends and collaborators. This tale of isolation is from Lagwagon's Double Platinum. This is one of the first songs from them that really spoke to me and made me a lifelong fan of the band.
Yeah,
Frank, does putting such an introspective song to such a laid-back rhythm take away from the earnestness of it, or do you think the Mad Caddies pull it off?
That's a really, really good question. The original version of some of these tunes, you could argue, just never needed a cover. However, I get why the Caddies are selecting a song like this as Lagwagon. It's had a big impact, and this song is among their most popular. To me, the laid-back version of this, in the pool having drinks, is awesome. But again, the subject matter of that alienation is then tough to correlate that together. So obviously, I mean, listen, anything Lagwagon, I'm gonna, even though as much I love the Caddies, I'm gonna probably say Lagwagon a little bit over. But again, these are fun versions. So
absolutely. Track 8, Some Kind of Hate, from the Misfits' classic album Static Age. The Mad Caddies put on a lounge act you'd expect to hear at the Ramada Room at the Holiday Inn in hell. I love this choice for a Misfits song. It covers all of their cliche bases, and you can really hear the Mad Caddies having just an absolute blast with it.
Yeah.
This might be my favorite from the album, Frank. What did you think of it?
Love this version. I really do. It's everything you've ever wanted out of a classic Misfits song, and more in this style of the ska Rocksteady. And more importantly, the band's having fun with it. It's just great.
So track 9, we have 2RAK 005, originally by the band Bracket on the Fat Music for Fat People, and a 7-inch called Stinky Fingers, both of which were released in 94. I didn't care enough to look up which one came first. Now, Bracket isn't a band I'm terribly familiar with outside of what was available on comp CDs back in the day. This number seems to be about the lies we tell to keep ourselves happy, and the Caddies take you right to the beach with their cover of it. Not a philosophy you practice, is it, Frank?
I not to, man. Although like every flawed human,
funny as fuck.
Yeah, you sure did. Like every flawed human, I'm sure I subconsciously have done it before. Not overly familiar with Bracket, like you said. Outside the comps, they were like on every comp, like you would get, like bracket. So yeah, feels like summer in my house with this tune, and I'm down for it.
Moving right along, it's track 10, Sink, Florida Sink, from our home state heroes Against Me, off their second album as the Eternal Cowboy. I've always imagined that if you grew up in Florida, like Frank and I have, and then you left it, this is 100% how you would feel about leaving it behind. It's funny, I don't know who wants their state to fall into the ocean more, Californians or Floridadians. I tried to make that up. I love how heavy the Mad Caddies lean into the organ and bass lines here and take this number for a walk. What says you, old chum?
It's funny because both state residents want their state to fall into the ocean. But, just be happy that you're living and find your comfort. find your comfort wherever your home state may be. Listen, the arrangement really makes this a different song. Like this, it's so, to me, almost where they could be like two separate songs, because the Against Me version is just an acoustic guitar. That's it. Obviously, there's live versions where there's more amplified. I just love both versions. I really do. That original version is always going to have a special place, and the bass lines, though, like you said in this, add so much depth to it. And to me, like I was like, if I had to pick any song again that seemed like another separate song from its original, it would be this one. But both were awesome.
Very nice. Track 11, Gene is Dead. The closer from the 1982 Descendants classic Milo Goes to College. There are theories that Gene is the same girl sung about in Bikeage. Could be. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. Either way, Bill Stevenson does what he does best lyrically and finds a way to smash your heart into pieces. I love the way the Mad Caddies handle this number with a bright upstroke guitar and beautiful horn parts. Frank, covering material this serious is a hard thing to do without making it cheesy. How'd the Mad Caddies do?
I mean, I've always thought that this was one of the underrated Descendant songs, and the Caddies don't make it cheesy at all, and which gives it, it's a proper tribute. It's such a touching adolescent tale of one of the worst things that could probably ever happen in youth, and these both versions are just great. Both the versions are awesome.
Yeah, this is a hard one to pick between, that's for sure. Track 12, Take Me Home, Piss Off. Another closing track, this one from Snuff's 1998 release, Tweet My Lovely. Now, Snuff is a band that I, again, only familiar with from Fat
like
Tom.
Bracket.
Yeah. You can find the original on YouTube, as the album doesn't appear to be streaming anywhere. Anyways, the song itself seems to be about, getting too drunk and needing to be, taken home. I love all the English terms for things. Snuff are a British punk band, so it's not surprising. But the way that it bleeds into that Caribbean vibe of Rocksteady, and the Mad Caddies do a fantastic job on this one, making it their own. Frank, you pissed? You need me to take you home?
I always need you to take me home, pal.
Thanks, buddy.
This is a great way to cap off this record. The Bracket and the Snuff tunes are in the same arena for me, just with the not as familiar territory. I love the English style references. It's a nice flair in the Caddy style. Great way to end things. That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Mm-hmm. Man, I have to tell you, I really enjoyed not having to deal with Jimmy Page's ego this week. Frank, would you be so kind as to give us your final thoughts on Punk Rocksteady?
Yeah, man. I mean, dealing with the egos and the mob or Zeppelin fans will definitely be an uphill battle. So this album's a really fun record. That doesn't mean all the songs were meant to be fun, but that's fine. Caddies are, they're trying to make these in their style, and they're not saying they're making them better. They're wanting to pay tribute to some awesome songs that have influenced them as a band. This record is easy to digest. There's not really any boring or low lights on there. It's what would you expect out of the Caddies and the high quality they bring to the interpretation of these songs. Well done. 8 out of 10.
All right. Well, you know me, the Mad Caddies will always have a place in my chubby heart. The energy and vulnerability have always spoken to me, and Punk Rocksteady doesn't disappoint. It shows the band's ability to stretch their legs from the ska and skate punk we've always known from them, and pay tribute to some of their favorite songs and bands. All of the songs they chose really work well in this Rocksteady style, and I love the way this album flows. The songs are arranged well, and the album is paced nicely despite being under 40 minutes long. This gets, just like you, Frank, an 8 out of 10 from me. Great job adapting a style you're not known for to a style that normally sounds like trash to most people.
There you go. Great choice for this episode, my man.
Yeah, so the good news, Frank, no game this week.
Oh,
sorry, buddy. Sorry.
My streak of 50% across the board is temporarily on hold.
You were up to like at least 65, maybe 64. But why don't we tell the folks at home what we're listening to next week?
All right. Well, I was up thinking about this the other night. I know we've talked about it, and I have a very interesting pick for you. It's from 1991. And we're going to be sailing on the seas of cheese, my friend.
Oh,
you know what that is? We're going to be talking
sailing the seas of cheese.
That's right. We're going to be talking about Jerry was a race car driver, Tommy the Cat, Sergeant Baker, and all these other really interesting tunes. Primus is a band. They were just in my head the other day, just thinking about them. And I'm like, I really want to sit down, take some time listening to them. Les Claypool is an absolute I don't even know what to make of him as far as his abilities on the bass. And I just wanted to dive into one of their records. So
very nice. I'm pretty sure I stole Seth's copy of Pork Soda. Way back in the day. And I've always felt Primus was an interesting band. And I've really never given them like too much thought because it's always just kind of fun and silly.
Right.
So I sir am pumped and looking forward to a nice sail on the sea of cheese.
Yeah. What's interesting is I think it was one of the Metallica documentaries, right? When they were looking for a bass player and like Les
Yep.
Claypool tried out because he was friends with Kirk Hammett from high school. And they're like, you're just too good. You have to do your own thing. And it was always funny that they were on Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey and the Battle of the Bands actually doing one of these songs, Tommy the Cat. So, it's going to be fun. I think we have a good time with it. And, I'm excited. So
Very nice.
Thanks everyone for listening, watching, and arguing with me about Zeppelin in all seriousness. So we welcome thoughts, opinions, and ideas. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, review. Be safe out there.
I can't believe we made it to the end of another episode. We appreciate you making it all the way to the end and hearing us out. So why don't you say it with me now? Oh, my. Oh, hell yes. Oh, bye-bye. I'm going to go watch Kids in the Hall now.